What's up guys, this video I'm breaking down season 4 of Love is Blind, and you're gonna see firsthand what happens when a nice, sweet, sensitive guy tries dating, how he gets absolutely destroyed, but the ending will surprise you. Alright, so in this breakdown we're gonna primarily focus on a guy named Marshall, who's a very sweet, sensitive, even feminine guy, what a lot of guys would describe as a blue-pilled simp. And we're gonna focus on his relationship with a girl named Jackie. So if you're not familiar with the premise of Love is Blind, the way it works is they take a bunch of guys, a bunch of girls, they put them in these pods where they can't see each other, but they can talk to each other, and you're basically supposed to pick your partner without ever seeing them. And then afterwards, when they finally meet, they follow you around with the cameras and they see how your relationship progresses. And trust me, the ending surprised even me. You're not gonna believe what happens at the very end. So anyway, so let's jump right into it.
My connections are Marshall, and my other connection is with Josh. I love them both. We both vibe so well. Marshall's sensitive. Marshall is smooth. He's sentimental. He's so calm and giving the opposite energy of what I am. What's your favorite thing you discovered about me so far?
My favorite thing that I have discovered about you is that you are authentic to yourself. You remind me of home. The home is where the heart is, right?
Oh, stop, you're making me blush. And Josh is like a smack talker. Josh is the same level as me. Like, his vibe is just like strong and masculine. And
so a little bit of foreshadowing, but which one of those descriptions do you think a girl's gonna be more attracted to? Well, you'll find out.
tough. I live by myself and I'm like really like paranoid at a certain time that I'm just like looking at the wall and I'm like,
girl, you know you don't have to worry about that with me.
Good, you better fight them demons.
Yeah, I mean, if Candyman comes, just know I'm a little bit faster.
Wow, look at you, first daddy.
I am first daddy.
If you're my person.
So we got to see Josh's game. Now let's compare that to Marshall's game.
I am afraid that I'll raise my kids like how my dad raised me. Honestly, I was raised with a lot of love, but my dad was not very nurturing in many ways. I was never good at math. Never. My sister and I, we would sit at the kitchen table and he would berate us.
Now this is oddly quite similar to my childhood. I was also never good at math, and my dad was very loving, but he was not nurturing. I wouldn't say he berated me, but he definitely gave me a lot of tough love, right? But I don't give a shit because I'm 33 years old and I'm mad. I'm not gonna sit there on a first date with a girl and cry about it, right? So again, you don't wanna be overly sentimental, overly emotional. The blue pill community says, oh, women just want a guy who's in touch with his feelings and he's very sentimental, right? And the red pillers go all the way to the other extreme. They say, no, you never can show emotions around women. The truth is somewhere in the middle.
You don't know how to do this? You don't know how to do that? Keep in mind I'm a kid, right? He would say, you're gonna be on the side of the road begging for change and I'm not gonna stop to give you any.
Oh no.
And
Oh, honey.
that did a lot to my psyche. From that day on, I had anxiety going into math class and I would make stupid
Every time I saw a calculator, I would have a panic attack.
mistakes because I just had that in the back of my mind. It's not his fault. He did what he thought was.
It's like, dude, like, you're really still crying about something your dad said to you like 30 years ago? Like, come on, at some point you gotta man the fuck up. Anyway, so here basically she picks Marshall for some reason, and eventually they meet up, and here's the scene that unfolds.
Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
You. Oh my goodness.
So you can see he's basically crying when he meets her versus she's pretty calm and collected, right? So if you're more emotional than the girl, then your relationship is gonna be in real trouble. And then about 30 seconds after this happens.
You are beautiful. And when we kissed, it was honestly the best moment of my life.
All right, a peck on the lips should not be the best moment of your life.
Turn around, let me see.
Let me see you.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
Will you marry me, Jack?
Of course I'll marry you. Oh my God, oh my God.
So yes, the first time he sees the girl, he proposes to her. And it's like, dude, have some standards, man. Like, I would personally probably never get married because I think it's not a good idea for the majority of men. However, if I was to get married, it would be a girl that I've been dating for years, right? Because I would want to see if she actually lives up to my standards. Is she loyal, right? Is she empathetic? Is she kind? Is she a good person who has good values? And you're not going to find that out the first time you see her or the second week you talk to her, right? So it just seems like a lot of these like nice soul boys have pretty much no standards when it comes to the women they're willing to accept into their lives. So anyway, so they basically get engaged here, and then she moves into, I believe, his apartment. And here's where we get to see how the relationship unfolds. This is where things get really juicy.
Did it right.
Do you want to wait until after the altar for intimacy?
So what he's saying here, if you haven't picked up on it, is like, hey, do you want to wait until after we get married to have sex?
Why would I do that?
I'm asking you a question. Say yes or no.
No. You just buy a car? You want driving there first?
The girl's like, bro, I want you to fuck the shit out of me. Now look, sex is not the only glue that holds a relationship together, but it's a big part of that glue. So when you have a relationship where there's no sex, that's a very flimsy relationship where things can fall apart. If you like your girl, the best thing you can do is fuck the shit out of her, because again, that point, she's gonna be bonded much closer to you, right? So I don't know why he thinks it's a good idea to wait until, probably just because of all the blue pill movies that he's watched where the guy's like super chivalrous and like, you know, like waits for a long time, but that stuff doesn't actually work in real life.
Cheers to me and only me. And you.
So here we start seeing a little bit of cracks in the relationship. Now look, she's probably kidding, right? But they say behind every joke there's an element of truth. So cheers to me and only me. And I think what she's doing here is she's subconsciously testing him, right? She's shit testing him. Is this the kind of guy who's gonna stand up for himself? Now look, you don't have to make a big scene here. What I would do is I would probably be like, damn girl, I'm gonna take your drink away. You better toast to me at least 5 times before you get this back, right? But at the very least, playfully stand up for yourself.
Cheers to us.
Cheers to us. That is crazy to think about though. Like, we only met a couple of days ago, and the fact that we feel like we've known each other for forever.
Yes, that is crazy. You should not be proposing, hell, even getting into relationships with girls that you met a few days ago.
I know you.
Yeah.
You're like a real man. You're not like a weirdo,
Keep what she says here in mind, because we're gonna find out later if she really feels that way.
and you're like one of these bozos out here in the streets. I'm not worried about you at all. I'm really not. I'm worried about me.
Now, this may seem like it could potentially be a good thing. She's like, oh, she's not worried about you. Like, she's very secure in the relationship. But it's actually not. The girl should be a little bit worried about you, right? Because she, basically, when she says that, she's saying that I know I have you in the bag. I can do anything and everything, and you will always be there, right? Which should not be the feeling. The girl should feel like, hey, if I fuck up, he will walk away. Hell, he might even walk away anyway because I know 100% what's in his head. So there always needs to be a little bit of an element of mystery, which again, she doesn't have those do because he's just on his knees emotionally professing to her every single evening.
I won't ever.
So here what happens is basically they have some kind of a fight or mini fight, and apparently she starts crying. He spends all night holding her and comforting her. And this is a discussion they have afterwards.
Have one of those moments again.
And if you do, it's okay.
That was not okay.
We're human.
Okay.
We're human.
Those actions last night was love. That was
So what he's doing also, he's too accepting and too accommodating, right? Now you want to be a little bit of accepting and accommodating, right? You don't want to be like my way or the highway, like the girl says something that you don't like and you pull a Myron Gaines and you flip out on her. That's not the right direction to be in. But you want to have boundaries and you don't want to be too accommodating. Like if my girlfriend's giving me shit, right? And then the next day she's like, yeah, I went too far. I'd be like, yeah, you did. Like, let's not let that happen again, right? Don't be like, oh, well, it's okay. We're only human, blah, blah, blah. Again, this blue pill shit doesn't work.
for love. No man would have did that for any shorty that he didn't love. And that man loves me.
Have I told you that you're gorgeous today?
Oh my gosh. Now you've told me.
Got you, girl. Don't ever forget that.
Thanks.
Also, you don't want to be over-validating your partner all the time. Now, telling your girlfriend that she looks beautiful here and there is great, no problem, even semi-often, but you don't want to be constantly over-validating your girlfriend. So now we're gonna move on to a much bigger fight that they have. So apparently what happens here is, I guess they were laying in bed and she said that she wants him to be more aggressive and he stormed out of the house, or she said that she wants him to be more manly or masculine. He stormed out of the house and then here he comes back and they have a fight. And this is where things start getting really juicy.
You're packing your stuff?
Yeah.
For what reason?
I'm not about to play this game for sure.
What game are we playing?
You didn't want to sit here and talk. You're like, I'm leaving.
What else am I supposed to do? What else am I supposed to do? Sit in my feelings and sleep next to someone who said that I was not man enough for them?
I never said you weren't man enough for me. I just said to be more aggressive. We don't have sex, bro.
When your girlfriend tells you we don't have sex, bro, you know your relationship is in real trouble. When she's saying aggressive, what she really means is dominant. She's like, I want you to pick me up, bend me over, and fuck the shit out of me. Versus I bet what this guy's doing is just gently kissing her on her shoulder and being like, oh, is this okay? I'm not too hard for you, right? Women are not turned on by that. They want a dominant man in bed.
We don't have sex.
That's on my account.
I'm just saying, do something. Like, try and get me in the mood or something.
I have been nothing but down for you.
Marshall, you're gonna give me a migraine because you're irking the shit out of me.
It's always what you feel and how you think. And then when I am aggressive,
And then
when I am
you're
aggressive,
not
you shut me
aggressive.
down.
You're never aggressive.
That's not who I am.
You're never aggressive. And the word that she didn't say, but I think we can insinuate here, is you're never aggressive enough. You're always too feminine for me, right? Now look, you don't have to be like super aggressive in your day-to-day life. Like if you look at me, I'm super chill and laid back. Like if me and my girlfriend go out, I'm just chilling, right? I'm never the kind of guy that's like, oh, she's gonna take the chicken and blah, blah, blah. I find that stuff like super cringe, right? But in the bedroom, you bet your fucking ass that I'm extremely dominant and assertive. First of all, that's because that's what I'm into. But second of all, that's what women are into. And if her sexual needs aren't being met by you, her whatever submissive needs aren't being met, then she's gonna seek those somewhere else. And you're gonna see how that plays out.
So if you can't accept me,
that's it then.
if you can't accept me for that, then I don't know what to tell you. But what I'm saying to you right now
I'm not
is
saying
that we're
you
having
be
a
aggressive
conversation.
100% of the time.
So what are you
Marshall.
telling me then?
Who you clapping at?
You! In your face!
You're not clapping at me.
No, this is really funny. He tries being like 1% aggressive. She's like, you're not clapping to me. So what happened here is that it's incongruent to her image of him, right? So if she, when she meets you, you act like a pushover guy who has no boundaries, no self-respect, and then you start trying to stand up for yourself, the girl's gonna shut you down because she's like, hey, you're the little bitch. Stop trying to act like a little man, right? So that's kind of what happens here. All right, so here they basically go to this like meetup where I guess all the people who are on the show get together. And here where you see the relationship really start to break down.
Try to keep and take a drink. You will see, get down on your knees and tell me you love me.
Keep it together.
You look so hot.
First of all, if your girlfriend walks in, like she should say hi to you first. Like if me and my girlfriend, whatever, I was at a party before her, she walks in, she's saying hi immediately to me and then everyone else, right? Because, you know, you should be her number one priority with a possible exception of like her parents or something like that, right? So if she's saying hi to everyone else, that just shows you that she doesn't really respect you.
I already know, Jackie. Hi, how are you, baby? 100%.
No, because it's gonna ruin my outfit.
But you're not about to catch a cold, though. Put this around your shoulder.
You're ruining my vibe.
Girl, put this around.
This guy's just trying way too hard to be chivalrous, right? Which again, works in movies, but unfortunately doesn't really work in real life.
I have plenty of.
It's messing up my.
You look good, actually.
I'm so excited.
You look good.
That is the most unenthusiastic kiss ever. You can tell at this point her attraction is either close to zero or zero itself. And then what happens is one of another guy from the show decides to approach her.
I'm supposed to be over here. What's on?
Okay, hi. How are you? How are you?
What's up with you? Yeah, were you surprised I came in here?
I'm surprised.
Well, shut the hell up. You weren't surprised. No.
I'm surprised. I did not think you was gonna pull up.
Why?
Too cool for school.
I'm gonna do school.
You too cool for school.
You were talking to NBA Cryboy.
So there's several issues here. The first one is that this guy's making fun of her fiance and she's laughing along, right? If your girlfriend really loves you and respects you, she wouldn't put up with that. She'd be like, don't talk about my fiance that way. I don't appreciate that, right? So she wouldn't put up with that. The second thing is that she wouldn't even flirt with the guy back. But if for some reason you're in a situation where your girlfriend's talking to some random dude who's trying to hit on her, you should not just stand by and like fucking pick your nose. You have to go over there and say something. Like I'll be like, hey, excuse me, that's my girlfriend. Do you mind? Like we're good, bro. We're good, bro, right? You have to kind of, I guess, be a little bit possessive and claim what's yours, so as to speak. If you're not going to do that, again, the girl's going to lose massive respect for you.
I'm be upfront. Marshall was crying with everybody. It was from the first day to the last day. So I was like, when I was talking to you, I was keeping it real from the jump. And then
it's Mr. Steal Your Girl right here.
I felt like you were always real. So I was just like, I didn't think that you were gonna be falling for that shit.
Look over there.
I know.
I don't like this.
I know.
So anyway, this guy continues to hit on her and he eventually asks her out on a date, or I think gets her number, and then they get home from the party and they have this little bit of an argument.
Seeing everyone else tonight, I need you to lay it out for me plain. What do you need from me? What do you require from me so that I know moving forward?
Now you can tell this guy has no boundaries and probably no self-respect, right? So if I'm ever in a situation where my girlfriend is flirting with another guy, there's a good chance I would end the relationship. But, you know, if I was not going to end the relationship, the discussion we would have would be like, hey, listen, that was extremely unacceptable. And if you ever do that again, our relationship's going to end. You have to put down a boundary. But you're not going to yell. You're not going to get emotional. You're not going to get angry. You're just going to simply tell a girl how it is and put down your boundaries. And if you do that, then chances are it's not going to happen again, right? But if you have no boundaries, then this shit will keep happening over and over again because, again, the girl's like, oh, let me see how far I can push him on a subconscious level. So his approach here is completely off.
Oh my God. I can't talk about this anymore. My brain is shot, Marshall.
Like, it's almost midnight. Can we talk about this tomorrow?
If that's what you want.
So going back to what I was saying, this guy's way too accommodating, right? His girl, I guess, fucks up and he's like, oh, if you want to talk about tomorrow, that's fine, right? Like, again, he's being way too over accommodating. He's prioritizing her above himself, right? And that should never be the case. You should always be the number one priority, with the exception of, I guess, your kids and potentially your parents, right? But you should never prioritize a girl before you because, again, that's going to be very unattractive to her. All right, now let's move on to what happens the next day.
Flowers.
I got.
So sweet. Oh my gosh, that's so nice.
You know, I'm a romantic brother, you feel me?
Now, you can see this guy, you know, his game is definitely a lot more masculine than the other guy. Now, I don't think he's like perfect. I think he's still in a lot of ways quite sentimental and feminine. But yeah, he's definitely a massive step up in the masculinity department from the other guy. So anyway, so here she gets home from the date and here she has her final argument with Mr. Marshall.
Everything.
I liked you. I'm like, look, just give me something. Give me that feeling that everyone says you know when you know. And I didn't have that feeling. And
I never felt attracted to you. And the reason for that, she's like, I thought you were friendly. I thought you were empathetic. I saw you as a great friend, but I never felt that primal attraction for you. And the reason for that, I think primarily, is because she never respected him. You cannot have attraction without respect. It's a necessary prerequisite. And you're not going to have respect if you have no boundaries, you have no standards, and you're a massive pushover who never stands up for himself.
tried every time to have that feeling. Marshall, I can't love you because I'm attracted to Josh. I just saw
I like how they have
Josh,
the Law and Order music.
and there is some chemistry.
So what was the talk about?
It was him basically confessing his feelings.
What are you saying to me right now?
I don't want to be with you anymore.
And that's what happens when you don't put your boundaries down. Things escalate. The girl, first tests you by flirting with other guys, right? And then she tests you further by going on a date, right? So you have to nip it in the bud from the very beginning, ideally before it happens, right? Like with me and my girlfriend, like she knows that for me would be totally unacceptable, right? Because I've made my boundaries extremely clear.
And
You want to be with Josh?
I will find that out.
Okay, Jackie. That is very hurtful.
I'm just telling you, Marshall, that I just can't be with you. I can't.
I would like the ring back because I don't think that you deserve it. Because you should never have accepted my proposal.
Well, I'm gonna keep the ring because I accepted it because I wanted to marry you. Everything I told
Yeah,
you.
like this part even surprised me, right? So she has so low respect for him that after breaking up with him because she met another guy, she's not even willing to give him the ring back. That's just a complete, like, it's not even she has zero respect, her respect is in the negatives, right? And her logic also makes no sense. It'd be like me borrowing $10,000 from my friend, and my friend's like, hey, can I get the money back? You're like, well, you see, when I borrowed the money from you, I was intending to pay you back, but now I changed my mind. So I think it's just fair that I keep the money because I no longer feel like I have to pay you back. Like the logic makes no sense.
In that pod was real.
And you know what? I don't even care. You can keep the ring.
And here's what I was saying, that he's such a pushover that he's like, hey, I want the ring back. The girl's like, I'm not giving it back to you. He's like, okay, you can keep it, right? He's extremely conflict avoidant, right? He's not willing to stand up for himself.
Every time you look at that thing, whatever you do with it, I want you to be reminded that you passed up on something great.
Okay.
Great.
Well, take it easy and we'll see you around. Maybe.
See you around, maybe. This is how low respect. She's breaking up with him. She's like, see you around, maybe. I've had several breakups. I've never had a girl say, see you around, maybe, right? There's typically way more respect and mutual attraction. Like, I'm going to miss you. Like, I'm so sorry, blah, 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 type of thing, right? So, yeah, you can see she, like, doesn't respect the guy. And I do, on one hand, feel bad for him, right? Like, this guy probably doesn't deserve this kind of shit. But this is unfortunate reality of what's going to happen if you act like a blue-pilled simp. Now, after the show, or maybe right before it ended, a text screenshot came out of Jackie. And this is, she got a lot of shit for this because people were saying she's homophobic, but this is actually her being honest. So take a look at this. So Jackie's like, he gives me vibes, y'all. So what she's saying, she means gay vibes. And I kind of hinted at that in my interview and all hell broke loose. So I had to like switch it up, but he for sure gives me vibes because he used to twerk on the bed. Twerk on the bed. I told him it was cool off with that. He was like, yeah. So now this time I told him to be more aggressive. He's hard for sure, but sometimes he can be sweet. The girl's like, twerk on the bed, LMAO. Good for you also for communicating how bad of a turnoff that shit is with. So if there's two people and one of them is twerking on the bed, which one of those do you think is the more feminine one? It's obviously the one that's twerking on the bed, right? So clearly there was multiple issues here, right? This guy was way too sensitive, way too accommodating. He had no boundaries. He had probably no self-respect, and he was not fucking the shit out of the girl. In fact, he was being feminine in and outside the bedroom, which is a turnoff. Again, what I was saying earlier is that the blue pillars say is that, hey, you just want to be this very sensitive guy who's very emotionally available, and red pillars are smart enough to reject it, and they say, well, this is BS, but they go too far to the other end of the spectrum where they become these like basically emotionless robots where it's like, I have no feelings, right? But that's not really, neither one of those is the correct path. It's somewhere in the middle. It's okay to be occasionally emotionally vulnerable with your girlfriend. It's okay to be sensitive sometimes, right, in appropriate situations. However, you don't want to be the more feminine one out of you two, right? You want to be the more masculine one. You want to be who's the guy who's less emotional than your girlfriend, right? You don't want to be the one that's constantly crying in front of her, right, where she has to take the role of the man, because at that point she's going to lose massive attraction, and when she loses attraction, respect is going to follow, because those two are very much synergistic. So you don't want to either lose attraction or respect, and that's unfortunately what happened to Mr. Marshall. All right, hopefully you guys found this video valuable, and if you want to not be a blue pill simp, then make sure you guys hit the like button, hit subscribe, click the bell for notifications, share this video with your friends, because on this channel we will always give you guys the practical, no BS advice that's going to help you become a lot better dating and just be better as a man in general. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and until next time.